Hello everybody, this is Monster of Tech here, back with another video. And today's video is going to be about the Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus with the Unpacked event. This event basically revealed everything about the new Samsung Galaxy S9. So at the beginning, they were, it kind of seemed like they were kind of taking on the Apple ecosystem almost. Like, kind of like how you can, like, sync everything, I think. Um, and now they got a new heart rate sensor on the back, they say. They say it's much more, accurate. Um, of course, they have better camera. And then there's this guy, who made fun of the headphone jack with the Note 7. He's back, and he was making fun of Apple for the notch, and they said that they have the fingerprint scanner, and nobody laughed really, so that was kind of failed. It comes in four colors: black, purple, gray, and blue. Now the camera, it has dual aperture, so it's f2.4 and f1.5, so it can alternate between these two. And it supports super slow motion up to 960 frames a second on both the S9 and S9 Plus. So there's a dual camera on the S9 Plus. OIS is on both of them. There's a telephoto wide angle, and then they have an Animoji copy. So it's basically, they call it AR emoji, so it's kind of like a Bitmoji almost, and an Animoji just kind of smushed together. And it's third-party accessible. Something funny, it kind of reminds me of Wii avatars, like, remember the Wii things like on the Me channel or something. So they had that. Samsung is still pushing Bixby, and they basically ripped off Google Translate with the smart camera translate thing. The new Samsung Galaxy S9 can now integrate Google's AR core for augmented reality, and this goes back all the way to the Galaxy S7. So this is not just for the newest Samsung phones, but this is for all the phones back to the S7. That's pretty cool that they're doing that. So they did that. The display sizes are the same as the previous ones. So they're same 5.8 and 6.2 inch displays, but they are brighter now. So you can view them outside better. Finally, Samsung has added the dual stereo speakers, so now they have the stereo speakers like the iPhones and basically every other phone. So they're finally catching up in that aspect. That's pretty good. So now that they're catching up with that, they also have these new features on it too. So like Dolby Atmos, it's compatible with the new Dolby Atmos thing. So it can have 3D sound. They say it can be on the speakers, the included speakers, or you can plug in the headphone jack for your headphone jack speakers. Not sure if they have Dolby Atmos support with Bluetooth, but they might. Yeah, but in this, basically, they've really been pushing the camera really hard. Um, so, another thing, they have faster cellular data on here. So, it has that, has more Samsung Knox and ecosystems more. The design, they basically modified the Infinity display. So now it's a little better. It's basically the same still. But I think that you won't really notice anything different compared to the S8 except for the brighter screen. But it now has the faster cellular connectivity. I think it has 5G. So now in the future, this will work in the future for 5G networks. That's really good for future proofing. And they added this landscape home screen like the plus sized iPhones. So now basically you're holding your phone watching a YouTube video, you hit the home button and then it'll open up in the landscape view. Um, they also have Samsung Knox better, um, and something new. It's enterprise ready now. So now it's ready for the enterprise markets. So basically, they're gonna basically be like the Windows for the smartphone, just all enterprise. They're gonna try focusing on enterprise, and they're pushing DeX. So they have DeXPad now, which is basically you basically plug it in, and then it will start the. It'll basically your phone screen will be a touchpad, I think. Um, they're really pushing the Bixby feature in this keynote, like really, really hard. They went so far as teasing Bixby 2.0. So they literally just like threw it out there. Like they literally just had Bixby like Bixby 2.0, but I can't tell you anything about it. So I guess they're kind of like desperately trying to get the public to be more engaged in Bixby 2.0, but I don't think anybody really cares about Bixby 2.0, but they're really, really, really pushing it. When they're wrapping it up, they basically announced that it's going to be available March 16th. So we've got some time to wait, but it's not a long time. It's not like April release or anything. Uh, it's going to be available for enterprises also on March 16th. So all the enterprise users can have it for the 16th. Um, Same day on general release for the enterprise too. Um, Basically, and it ended with a bunch of employees running up on the stage dancing or something with their friends or something. Well, they were just going on the stage or something. They were just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna dance, yeah," uh, because they had their new Galaxy S9s. Um, they also had the slow mo guys kind of promote it in the keynote. So they kind of like had them like, "Hey, this has really slow motion." Like, of course, it's not as good as their $1,000 equipment, but it's really good for a phone. But yeah, it's pretty good for a phone. The second slowest thing is 240 FPS, and that's really impressive even for smartphones 240 FPS. But this has 960 FPS, so that's really slow. However, I do not know the resolution that it will be shooting at, if it's going to be like at 720p or 480p. I hope it's going to be at least 720p because then it will be a little good, but I hope it's not going to be like 480p because then it's basically going to be unusable for like high. It's going to be like potato quality. Um, and basically they're just basically a S upgrade to the um, S8, so it's basically S8s. Yeah, basically, or basically like the iPhone 8 almost. So it's an S upgrade or an iPhone 8 upgrade, but because it's like that because they kind of like added new features, slightly tweak the design by putting the fingerprint reader below the um, camera so you won't be smudging it at all anymore, or hopefully you'll have a lower chance of smudging it at least. But yeah, it's got a new design. It's still got the aluminum design as far as I know. It's just got this aluminum and glass, so it's really nice build quality. It does not have stainless steel like the iPhone 10, and it's got the forehead and chin. So they were basically making fun of the iPhone 10 at the keynote by saying it had no notch, but what they did not tell you is that they basically just cut out spaces on the screen, so you get a lower screen to body ratio. So some people might like that, some people might not. Personally, I think it's not really that much of a problem with the notch. Um, so, yeah, I mean, that's basically the keynote. They were, looks like it has a new TouchWiz flavor. I hope it has the Android Nougat, or no, not Nougat, Oreo, sorry. Yeah, Android 8, because like, well, they should have Android 8, but it should, and last year had the 7.0. So they probably have Android 8 on it, but it's really nice. It looks like a really nice design once again, but unfortunately they still got that Bixby button on the phone, so like you can't really, well, actually you can change it, but like they really 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 want you to use Bixby. Like there's two voice assistants on the phone now built in. So now you got the Google Assistant like last year, and now you got Bixby like last year, and like they're like trying to compete with something that is already on the phone. It's kind of like um, Microsoft, like default Microsoft apps, and then some computer companies like put their own versions of the apps on it. So I think they're still going to have the Samsung bloatware on there with the carriers. Like they're going to have the Gmail app and then the Samsung Mail client. Uh, but basically, yeah, they kind of like had like kind of like a nostalgic look at it on the keynote. Overall, nostalgic look on the keynote. Like they were kind of comparing their technological progress on the phones that they released, and they basically did that. So this is a monster of tech video. Please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, and I will see you in the next one.